Hi, and welcome to Come Play with Meeples. My name is Joe, and today we're starting the second scenario of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, and this scenario is called A Hole in the Wall. I haven't yet named my Demolitionist and Hatchet, as I just posted the scenario 1 onto YouTube there. So I'm going to give it a few more days. Hopefully I get 1 or 2 entries for some names. Maybe I'll like something there. Otherwise I'll start to select my own names and we'll just move forward from there. So we'll continue our playthrough here of Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. So let's get started. Welcome back. So just a few new things for the second scenario as they're easing us into the game here over the course of the first 5 scenarios. So the first thing I'd like to show you is the map board here. And now I have attached the number 1 here. You can see that. And then the number 2 here, I was told to attach this one. So the scenario, A Hole in the Wall, whereas we have completed roadside ambush, so I had to put an X in there. So I've already updated the map. Couple of new rules for this scenario compared to the first one is that now there is a monster deck here. Basically for this one we're told to just use the 4 basic ones, and on these cards they'll show various things that the monsters will do, so they're less reliable compared to the last time. So the second thing is we've got to upgrade some of our cards. So we were told in our decks to replace these 2 that had a very similar name as last time, but now instead they're cards B. But we still only have 6 because it sounds like this is the continuation of that same day. So from here we'll just go on with the introduction, reading the introduction. The tracks are easy to spot. Vermling have never been known for their subtlety. You follow the scratching and indicators of a body being dragged until you find yourself approaching the walls of Gloomhaven. The sun is very low, but something isn't right. That isn't just a shadow cast across a low section of a wall, it's a hole. The vermling had made a nest for themselves by burrowing into the wall itself. How industrious. You crouch low and try to sneak closer, but they must have guards watching the entrance. There's a shrill shrieking, and then a number of vermling jump out from the dark, brandishing their dull, poorly made weapons. No choice now but to defend yourself. Luckily you've managed to get your second win, but you will definitely need a nice, long bath after this ordeal. So on the map side here, there's actually now 2 rooms. And you will see the wall right here. So in order to get into the second room, we are to open the door here. But in the meantime, we would populate the vermling in the first room, because that's where we are. So that should be all the new rules, and we're ready to get started. So just a couple of other additional new rules with this second scenario. And the first is you will find that there's these money coins laid around. If our characters end their turn where there's money, or if they have a loot ability that would allow them to loot in an area, like this here says loot 1, meaning you could loot the square that you're in and all 1 away from where you are. Basically, then you would get these tokens, you put them on your board. At the end of the scenario, you'll get gold for your character sheets so that you can go buy new equipment. And from now on, the monsters also drop a coin when they die where they are. And another one is these traps. Character, being the players or the enemies, end up stepping on a trap, then they will take 3 damage, no modifier, and then the trap is gone, it's been trapped. And finally, there is a treasure chest here. So if we can, much like looting, if we can end our turn there or use a loot ability, then we will actually get what's in the treasure chest, and then we're told to go to the book and look at treasure 14, and that's what we'll get. If this is anything like the first Gloomhavens, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. I had one friend, every time he actually got to the treasure chest first, it was something bad, so he never got anything good out of those, he says. So one other new ability as well is on these cards, you will find this lost symbol. So if I use the top of this card ever for its ability here, then instead of discarding that card, I would put it to the lost pile automatically. So if you remember from the first scenario, time is a factor with these cards. So that's always something I tend to not want to do too quickly in a scenario. So that being said, we can go ahead and pick, oh, and just so you know, our healths were reset as well. So now we can go ahead and pick some cards here. So I had decided that I was going to play these two, and hopefully I'll have this more where you can actually see the number that I chose. And for Hatchet over here, I was thinking this one for its low initiative more than anything. And then I have a couple of targets that are nearby, so using this target 2 I think would be very helpful. Okay, so we have 18 and 19. That should make us go fairly quick. But unlike the first scenario, where it said that all the Vermlings would go on initiative 50, they'll have different amounts on these cards. I'll just give these a shuffle one more time. And now that we've picked, we would pull their card over, and this is exactly what they'll do. So they'll have initiative 59. They're going to attack with their base skill, +0. It will be ranged and they'll target 2. But so it says here they are not moving this round because it doesn't say to move. So I'll see if that works to put it there so you guys can better see. So in this case, we have Hatchet, then the Demolitionist, and then finally the Vermling. Does this work if I put it here? Yeah, let's put it there. All right, so starting with Hatchet, so we can look at his hand here. And I do want to have the attack go first. So he's going to play the attack 2. And he will first target the number 3 there. Give these one more shuffle. So he'll target the number 3 there first. So his modifier is, well, here's the one we hadn't seen. So this is kind of like a critical hit. Basically what we had already was 2, so now it's ×2, so that'll make it a hit of 4. And once our turn is over, we'll have to shuffle his pile again. So a hit of 4 on number 3, which puts him just 1 away from being finished. And then the next one is number 2. So he hits that one as well for 2, -1, so he only hits him for 1. And now he could run away, but I think I'll just have him stay there. The monsters are in tight to start. Just looking here again. So here I am actually going to go, let's make sure I got enough room here. I'm going to move him first, and I'm actually going to move him to right where this money is. So basically he'll end his turn there. So I'm just going to take the money now. And then he's going to have an attack of 3 and then muddle if he doesn't eliminate this monster. So it was 3 plus 0 is 3. So that will make it 4 on number 2. Again, 1 short. That's not so good, but at least he is muddled. So then we find a muddle token, and we put that on number 2 because he's the one that's muddled. So that's our character's turn. Now the enemies will go. They do have range. So, okay. So it's been a little while since I played Gloomhaven as well. So actually, I'm just going to step back for a second. I would have looked at this closer. If he's going to be in a range of 2, then he would have moved 1 away. Oh, and then he's only going to get hit once there. So I'll have him move there. So he doesn't even get hit this turn. Sorry about that. I'll try to watch that going forward, but normally, yes, if I was playing with a group, I would be checking that before I just discard a card. All right, so let's do this again. So number 2 will go first, so he doesn't move, but he'll attack using his base skill of 2. It is a ranged attack, so he will be disadvantaged, and he can only target now the Demolitionist. So we'll take 2 from here. We have a -1 and a null, so he completely missed. Now this guy would go, Hatchet and him are at least 3 away, so he can't actually hit, and he's just way too far away. So that is the end of the round. I now have to shuffle a couple of decks again. We would not shuffle the Demolitionists because he didn't get one of his symbols. All right, and now we go back to card selection. Okay, so I've decided for the Demolitionist here, I do want to take this one so at least he can move and we'll have a quick initiative. And then I wanted to do this 1-2 punch again. Oh, okay, so this is a new ability on this one. I'm just reading. So I guess you could do the same attack on this one on the same one, because then if you do, then you get these extra abilities, because this is the new B card. Okay, so we'll set him to 20. And then for Hatchet, so I'm really hoping he will take care of both of these since they're down to 1 health. That's why I wanted the 1-2 punch, so he can actually attack 2 separate ones. So then I'm hoping Hatchet will be able to run up there and shoot him at range. So I'm going to take something that's got the longest range. And something that will help him go fairly quick. So I'll take this one here. Okay, so now for the Vermling, flip over their action card, and this time they will move, and then they will attack with range, but it's going to be a weaker attack. It's only an attack of 1. So in that case, we have Demo going first, then Hatchet, then the Vermling. So that's good. That's kind of what we're hoping for. So first he will just move 2 with that card. And he'll go 1, 2. Now he's beside both, so then he'll use the 2-1. So I think I'll just go for number 3 there first. Flip that over, -1, so it's a hit of 1. He has 4. That makes it 5. Number 3 is gone. He would now no longer have the muddle, not that it's going to matter. And now number 3 goes, and he drops a coin right where he was. And then for the second one, attack 1, -1. So unfortunately, he didn't finish him off, because that would be a 0. And that is Demolish's turn. I'm still thinking if, no, that's not going to work. So that kind of changed my plans here a little bit. So instead, I feel like I have to try to take him out. So it doesn't really matter in this case which one I use. So I will just go the attack 3, targeting him 3 spaces away. -1, so that's a hit of 2. So again, that's enough to knock him out. And we put a coin there. And then for the second half, he will move 3. So 1, 2, and he may as well get some money. 3. And now it is the Vermling's turn. So again, we have only 1 left. He will try to avoid the traps if he can. So he will walk around them. In this case, it doesn't really matter which one he's targeting. He is going to move 1 space. Then he's going to attack with a range of 2, so that only comes up to here. Not enough, so he's not going to attack either of our characters. Now we go to the next round. We have only 2 cards left each, so may as well grab them both. And again, I think I want as fast as possible, so the 25 and the 37. And finally, we now look at the new monster's ability card. So here, they're going to go pretty slow. They're going to push if we're beside them, and then they're going to attack with a range. And after this, we will shuffle the Vermling's deck. So that means we now have Hatchet go first, then the Demolitionist, then the Vermling. So Hatchet going first. So then for Hatchet here, I don't want to use the bottom part here because this would be a lost card. I just feel it's too early in the game. So I can use this movement of 2, but then you don't lose the card. So I can put that in his discard pile. He can move 2. He may as well go for some money. And then he can at least attack up to 3, but there's only 1 enemy left within a range of 3, and that's just enough room. And so he will attack him for 1. Not a very strong attack, but he will be muddled as well. But, oh, no, that one was gone. This is number 5. So attack of 1, -1, complete whiff, but at least he muddled him. So now it is Demo's turn here. So again, I don't want to use the top here because I don't want to lose the card yet. I'm hoping that I can run up there. 1, 2, 3. Nope, not quite. So I have a couple of options here. I can just move 3 spots. It'll get him up there, but he won't be able to attack no matter what he does because again, I'm not going to use the top here. So then the next thought is, do I go for this money so at least he has a little bit more money for the future? But I think for now, I'm just going to push up there. I'd rather have a few extra turns at the end to hopefully get the treasure chest here. So I will just move 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I can't attack, so I just discard that card. Now it is the Vermling's turn, and so they'll push if there's anybody adjacent, but there's not. And then they're going to attack with +1 into a range of 2, so that will hit our Demolitionist, but if we want to get up there to fight him next turn, you got to take that chance. So he's got a normal of 2, +1, plus his modifier deck, -1, makes it a hit of 2 on the Demolitionist. So we could go from 8 down to 6. So once again, we're at a point where we have, we do have to shuffle their ability cards. Okay. Now we are at the point where we have no cards left, so we have to short rest. So that was take all of these cards, mix them up, randomly pick one, lost that card, which was the nice new one. But at least now I have only 1 card in the lost pile and not 2, if I would have used that. And we have to do the same thing for Hatchet here. Quick shuffle. Pick one at random, lost. Again, a new one with the lost ability. And now we are ready to do our next turn. And I just realized from where I'm sitting, that card is a little bit blocked. That creature was muddled, so let's pull the second card yet from his turn. Okay, so we still would have used the -1 because he's muddled. It's disadvantage, exact opposite of advantage, where you pick 2 cards and you get the worst one for that character. So deciding which cards to grab here for the Demolitionist, I'm going to take these 2 cards here, and I'm going to make it go as fast as possible. And then for Hatchet over here, I do want some range attack here, and then maybe some ability. To to move? Then I think I'll just use this one. No, I'll use this one. Okay, so he's got 35, 19. Grab the new Vermling action card. So they are going to move, and then they are going to attack with range again at 36. So actually in this case, we have Demolitionist going first, then the, oh no, Hatchet at 35, and then the Vermling at 36. So now we go with our turn. So I am thinking this might be a silly move, but I think I'm going to open that door. I do see, because you can see where the characters are to come on the board. This one will be able to hit him if he's in the door, but this one's going to take a little bit to come around. So I think I'm just going to do that. I do want to move the 2, so I'm going to go in the door, and once I do that, I've opened up this room, and now I have to populate it. But I also wanted to then be able to destroy one adjacent obstacle. So I will destroy this obstacle here. And now he is strengthened for this turn and the next. So get a strengthen token, put it on our Demolitionist there. And now for his second attack, so for his second action, he's going to use his ranged attack here. So now it's actually going to be attack of 2. Since he's strengthened, he'll get the best of the 2 cards. Range of 4. So I am still going to attack number 5 there. And he got -1 and -1. So he still only hits him for 1. I do believe he lost the muddle from the last round. Okay, so that wasn't as prosperous as I was hoping. So now we will use the attack 3, range of 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So he is within range. An attack of 3 plus 2 is 5. That is enough to take him out because he had 1 already. So that made it 6. And they only have health of 5. So that does leave Hatchet with the bottom here. So you can move up to 2 spaces. But of course, the Demolitionist is in the door, so he can't really move forward 2. So I'm almost tempted if he should go back to get that money. Which I think I'm going to do because he does have this card yet, which will let him move 5 next turn, so he can run back into the action at that point. So may as well go for some money. They are mercenaries. And now the Vermling will go. So this one's number 1. So what he's going to do, this is a little bit more tricky. So he's going to figure out who his focus is. We always said focus first. And he's going to focus on the closest one that he can reach, which is right there. So that's who he's after. So he's looking to get within range of 2 up to here. So he will then move 1 space, because that's his base ability, towards his target. He won't be able to actually fire because it's not within range of 2. So we just move him closer. So we'll actually put him there. Then this one will go, he's trying to get within range of 2, so he's looking at least here. So he can move 1, he'll move here, now he's within range of 2, and he will fire for 2, -1, plus -1, so he actually didn't hit our Demolitionist. So now we go back to our turn. So because I do want him to get into the action, I'm going to use for the move of 5 and then a range attack, so he'll definitely be able to do something this turn. So I think I will just take these 2. And finally the Vermling's card. flip that one over. So they will attack within range and will try to target too, so we'll have to watch that. But they will go at 59. So here I was worried at his 42, it's a little bit late, but he still got in before them. So in this case, Hatchet will go first. So we know we're going to get him to move 5. I do want to stop and think. He's got a range of 3. He's going to have a range of 2. So I could make sure I'm out of range. And you also have to watch line of sight. But line of sight, so long as any part of the square that they're on, because I'm thinking of moving them here, can see the square that he's on, you have line of sight. So you do have to watch that with the walls. And I think that's just where I'll move then. So 1, 2, 3. And then he'll attack 3 within range of 3. 1, 2, 3. And hits him for 3 on number 6. Okay, and that was Hatchet's turn. Now the Demolitionist. So I think he's just going to move 2, up to 2. He'll actually move 1. I will go with this one here. So he's going to get 2 attacks in here. Does he still have Strengthen? Yes, he does. So the first one is an attack of 2 on that character, which is actually, oh, you pull 2. So it's actually an attack of 2, and that is enough to wipe him out anyway. Now we go down to the Vermling's turn. So he is looking range of 2. He's not going to move. He can't get within range. So his turn is done. So long as you can dance around them, you can do pretty good. So now we have to short rest again. Oh, and he definitely loses his strength now. Pick one at random. So we lose this one. But he gets these 4 cards back. And we do the same thing for Hatchet over there. Pick one at random. Discard it. Gets the other 3 back. Now I feel like we're getting at the end of the scenario. We've done actually very, very well. Only been hit really once. Again, the goal was to kill all the enemies. We just have 1 left down here. So at this point, we're just looking to advance on him and get as much treasure as we can. Okay, so for the Demolitionist, I'm going to take this one to try to attack him from range, because our character is not really going to get too much into range. And then may as well just take a slow move card just to get rid of that one. And then for Hatchet, we want him to move up there too pretty quick. There's his move 5, so I'll use that so I can get to just about anywhere I want. And again, I'll just go for some nice range, although that will make him slow the next round. Yeah, let's not use the 2 fast cards in 1 turn. Instead, I'll use this one just to try to hit him a little bit from range. So we have 18 and 19. The Vermlings have 85. So again, this is the one where they're going to have to shuffle their deck. So we got the same order: Hatchet, Demo, then the Vermling. So Hatchet will go first. So I'm thinking here he wants to stop there to attack him from there. So with his 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he can at least get to that coin, and he will be within range. Perfect. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to end his turn there, so I'll just take the coin now. And then he will attack him for 2. And hits him for 2. And that was number 1. And then the Demolitionist's turn. I was just going to have him move 1 because he's also greedy. With that ability. And then range of 4, attack of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh. So in this case, I actually don't want a +1. I want a chance to get that loot box. Or do I just not even worry about it? You know what? I'm not going to attack. I want to get that loot box. So it's a hit of 0. Because then it's going to be the Vermling's turn. He can't move. He's looking for a range of 2. 1, 2. He can't hit anybody. So that's their turn. Now because they pulled over the shuffle symbol, we shuffle all their cards. I do think this is going to end in one more turn here. Just want somebody to get on that treasure and then attack this guy. So we'll definitely go as fast as we can using the 2 cards we've got. So we got 24 and 42. The Vermling are going to go at 59. So again, our guys still get to go first, with Hatchet going first. So Hatchet, I think, is going to be the one that gets on the loot box there because the Demolitionist can't quite reach that. So he will go use this card to move 2. So he'll be on here, so we'll read that in a moment. But we'll finish his turn first. Attack of 3 in a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3 plus 0 is 5, or 3 plus the 2 is 5. He will drop loot here. And not that it really matters because I do not believe Hatchet can get there. Or sorry, the Demolition can get there. Can he get anything? No. No, he won't be able to get anything. So we won't even worry about his turn. So the next thing is we go into the book looking for number 14. So I'm not going to actually show you the chart because it'll spoil a lot for everything else that comes up. However, treasure number 14 says gain 3 money tokens. So you actually found 3 more coins. 1, 2, 3 in that treasure chest. And now we have completed the goal of kill all enemies. So let us now read the conclusion. With the foul nest cleansed of these wretched creatures, you take your time searching every nook. Surely the city guard will want to know about this. It cannot be safe to have vermin tunneling through the walls. It's hard enough to fend off the raids as it is. Eventually, you do manage to find an unexpectedly large amount of gold under some rotten wood boards. Sifting through the treasure, you also find a strange note. In crude sketchings, it details some business arrangement between the Vermlings and someone by the name of Roland. Apparently, in exchange for supplying fresh corpses, Roland would pay the Vermlings in gold. And judging by the amount here, the Vermlings managed to kill quite a few people before you could put an end to it. It's the best lead you have, so it's time to ferret out this Roland character. After resting at the Sleeping Lion, of course. So reward, we get 25 gold each. So we'll add that to our character sheets. Item shop opens, so items 1 through 13 are now available for buying. And we have a new location, the Black Ship, location 3. So since our characters are still level 1 characters, for each token of gold that they received here, they are going to convert to 2 gold. So in this case, then the Demolitionist made 25 plus 2 is 29 gold. Hatchet, on the other hand, made 25 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 14 gold. So he's going to make 39 gold on this run. So I'll mark that on the sheets. And it does say here bonus experience of 6. I'm going to double check with the rules if that applies to the second scenario here or if experience is coming in on the future scenarios. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed our playthrough of the second scenario here, and join us next time and come play with Meeples.